This is downtown music. Downtown music on the beat.
Downtown music.
Downtown music on the beat.
Downtown music.
Buy your DTM beat today.
Man, I should have gone on the record a long time ago, but
What happened? What happened in that bitch? I know she's gone, but why did she leave,
well, no, Griff is not really saying too much about why the split is, man. Basically, he's just saying, she's got a lot of man hate in her, and every time he looks up, she's beefing, with this person in the community. She's beefing with that person. She's always beefing with some other male in the conscious movement. You know what I mean? And he's just like, man, it's getting impossible to build anything and to do anything because I'm steadily getting all this blowback off Zaza Ali arguing and starting shit. You know what I mean?
Didn't I tell you, didn't I tell you they combative? The only woman they want to sit up and go toe-to-toe with they man?
Yeah.
Even in the pro-black community?
Yeah. And, and then he was saying that she was doing some slick shit behind the scenes with money and trying to get shine off of his name without him knowing it. You know what I mean? She's calling up people to try and do book deals and lectures and all this sort of shit that, Griff introduced her to because, he had all the connections. You know what I mean? And without...
She used it.
Yeah, she basically is using a nigga and shit. And everybody was trying to tell this nigga, right? Like, man, this bitch ain't for the right thing. This bitch using you. But Griff, kind of like me, you know what I mean? Trying to, be optimistic about it. He kept letting, a lot of the shit he was hearing slide. You know what I mean? But it got to the point where once again, if you let him slide, they start ice skating on your ass. So the more he kept letting shit slide, the more bold her fuckery was coming. You know what I mean? Once again, he's not really elaborating on specifics, but he just got to the point where he was like, okay, enough is enough. And like I said, when I first seen him team up with this broad, man, I seen like a couple of videos and I heard a couple of podcasts they did. Immediately, I didn't like the bitch, man. Immediately, I didn't like the bitch. My power senses was tingling. I'm like, this is a scandalous user ass bitch, man. I just got that vibe, man. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. What was you about to say?
Well, and also you also have to understand that, that's why I like being free of that pro-black conscious shit.
Right.
It's not that we're not for black people. See, when you get trapped off in the dogma of that pro-black shit, you start idealizing and romanticizing women.
Right.
And I think that was a lot of his problem, too. Okay. Because he can't talk about all that black power. See how they paint you in a bag? You can't talk about all that black power shit and then have the nerve to criticize black women.
Exactly.
So he let a lot of shit slide because this is Griff from Public Enemy. This is the Minister of Information.
Right.
This is the man that's all about sisters, and this is the man that black women are queens. And his philosophy painted him into the box.
Right.
So he couldn't come out and criticize her if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so he got to drop that little shit. But you have that. You have a lot of those black women that are hustling. They're using that pro-black shit just like some of the niggas are, just like some of the niggas do. They're using that pro-black shit to hustle. They're using it to come up on. Now, I want to distinguish that between what I said in an earlier podcast, the leadership podcast. There's nothing wrong with you being fed by your morals and principles.
Right, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. But when you're hustling and you're running over other people to do it, and that is not something you feel, you're not sincere about your beliefs, you're only using it to con people, that is a problem.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That is a problem. So, it's no surprise to me. It ain't no surprise to me what's happening to Griff, because I've seen it.
Yeah.
Most of these so-called pro-black women, now there's some, I think that, Shahrazad Ali was about what she says, and I think Frances Cress Wilson was about what she said, but most of these women that's on that pro-black shit, you'll find, look at the nigga that they dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, the nigga that they dealing with is the most scandalous, grimy, reprobate, backwards motherfucker that you ever want to meet.
Right.
Or these women come from dealing with or come from an environment where they dealt with a lot of scandalous, backwards, reprobate motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to look at it. She came to you with a criminal. That girl had a criminal case.
Exactly.
She took a plea agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But she came to you. If you check this bitch's credit history, if you check her political and social credit, not her financial credit, her political and social credit, she came to you fresh off a criminal case.
Mm-hmm.
A fraud.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Shit, so I guess he was thinking just because she was defrauding white folks that wouldn't bleed over into her defrauding the black folks.
Well, no, they think that, if the white man is against you, then that must mean that you're for your people. So in other words, if white folks are coming down on you, you can't be all bad.
Right.
See, because the white man did that, the old, the enemy of my enemy is my friend thing.
Right.
And that don't work all the time. Because, see, some people will use that tactic, get in and infiltrate you. Will use that tactic of the white man this and the white man that, when the white man actually caught them doing some fucked up shit. So when people tell me fuck the police, like I said before in the prior podcast, are you talking about fuck the police because they're abusive and this is a police state? Or are you talking about fuck the police because he's stopping you from breaking in somebody's house and taking shit?
Right.
Or are you saying fuck the police because you can't stand on somebody's block and sell dope? Or are you saying fuck the police because he busted you, in a transaction? Because I wouldn't say fuck the police but I would say fuck you. See, everybody is mad at the system because they can't get over. Some people are mad at the system because they're being abused. Some people are mad at the system because they can't get over. So when you start gathering these people up in the conscious community and start bringing them as, they wounded victims of the white man. No, they ain't wounded victims of the white man. They hustlers.
Right.
But they thought that they could hustle the system. And they weren't smart enough to hustle the system. And they got their ass broken by the system. So now they want to fall back and say, well, accept me because I done been persecuted too. No, bitch, you just as scandalous as the average nigga.
It's weird. I just couldn't understand why. Yeah, like I said, man, from the jump, I ain't like the broad, man. I'm thinking to myself, what does Griff see in this bitch, man, that makes him, want to, bring her into the fold? Because I understand, what he was trying to do, man. He's trying to show balance, man. You know what I mean? With his strength, his masculinity, and her righteous femininity, so to speak. You know what I mean? But
I know, righteous femininity. Griff was also, I'm going to tell you this, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says, Griff was also attracted to that woman.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe too, man. It's like man, because when you're thinking about it, you're like, why would he? Because Griff, he strikes me as a no-nonsense type of cat, you know what I mean? And for him to repeatedly just keep accepting the drama that this bitch is bringing, man, I'm like, yeah, man, he's sweet on this bitch, man.
Yeah.
He's sweet on this bitch, man. Shit. So, I don't know, man. I'm like, damn, Griff, man, you kind of, you made a misstep on this one, man. That the black skillet got Griff.
Yeah.
The black skillet got Griff, man. I guess that makes us.
Because he kicked out, does that mean Griff hate black women?
Shit. Well, I guess it only counts as hate if, you know, I don't know, maybe it's okay if we, you know, we talk shit about black folks, but we just can't give white folks no props. Maybe that's the problem. You know what I mean? Maybe niggas can't handle both at the same time. Because, like I said, because we've always been roasting, you know, black women to a degree, you know, telling them to get their shit right. But, you know, the minute we was talking about that latest podcast where we gave the white woman her props, you know, that's when I got the emails. I'm like, y'all hate black women. It's like, damn, nigga. No.
Well, I'll follow Nas's logic.
Okay.
Nas said that, I'll follow Louis Farrakhan's logic.
Okay.
Or Nas or Louis Farrakhan. Nas said that J. Edgar Hoover was a genius.
Right.
And he said, well, how could you possibly say that? You look at what he did. He said, because I respect genius no matter what color it is.
There it is.
You know, I respect intelligence no matter what color it is.
Right.
I don't see intelligence through the lens of color. I see intelligence through the lens of its results. Mm. Yes, what he did was wicked, but you gotta admit that shit was sweet.
Right. Yeah.
Even though you don't agree with it, and even though it was fucked up and cruel, but it's war.
Right.
COINTELPRO was a program about war.
Yeah.
Because there, in a sense, there was a war going on in America. And see, Geronimo said it this way. He said, whenever you began to look at ways to thwart genocide, you come up with ways to thwart that genocide, and these ways or these means are logical and would work. He said then the military apparatus of that organization is up for grabs, is fair game. And so when you get hit with something like COINTELPRO, you can't cry because it's war.
Damn. Well,
you can't cry because it's war. So when we big up white society, or when we say something glowing about white society, we're making an analysis of things that we see are admirable. We don't care that this. We're just making that, like you said, compare and contrast to the fuck shit, the stupidity that we're dealing with. I respect intelligence no matter what color it comes in.
And it almost seems like unless you've had a military background or military training, you can't necessarily have that mindset, because it's a lot. I know, you know, a lot of veterans who have this thought process like we have. But if you just, I don't know, just a regular nigga, a civilian, maybe you just don't get it. You don't get that connect, man. Like, war is war, and you just admire motherfuckers that can wage war on an intelligent level, man. And you just see it for what it is. It's like these tactics are brilliant. You know, irrespective of culture and color. Why can't niggas just grasp that shit without, like you said, looking through the lens of color?
Yeah.
It's fucking simple-minded.
You're absolutely right.
I don't understand this shit. But check this out. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta go do something, right?
All right.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on. All right, we back. We took a little commercial break. Shit, the last topic we was on the Zaza Ali Professor Griff split. And I guess we can go ahead and encapsulate that, man. Kind of like, you know, that segued perfectly into our whole concept of do we hate black women. But here we have a black woman that's typifying and exemplifying the very traits that we keep talking about with these black women, man. So, I mean, once again, the stereotype proves valid.
Well, yeah, because again, what we're saying is, see, the black woman that they want to idolize or idealize and romanticize is not the black woman from the 60s and 70s. This is a different group of people created by different circumstances that have different motivations, different ideas about the way shit is supposed to go. So, you know, that we're not criticizing Claire Huxtable here.
Right.
You know, this is not Claire Huxtable we're talking about. We're not even talking about Florida Evans.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
we're talking about, you know, these love and hip hop ratchet bitches. That's what we're talking about. And I can understand because, again, we went through this era in the 90s where, everything was so empowering about black women. Mm-hmm. They had all these movies to come out and talk about the black women's plight, this, that, and the third. They idealized them and romanticized them. And nobody looked at the feral nature. Nobody looked at all those things that were bubbling beneath the surface. And, of course, here we are in the 21st century, and the shit has come out full bloom. The consequences of a matriarchal society, the consequences of a society where there's no structure, no boundaries, no limitations, no nothing. Just a society where women have gone batshit crazy.
Well, check this out. Let me ask you, even though I don't personally know her and you don't personally know her, but from what you have seen and what you have gathered, I don't know how many videos you've seen of her. I don't know how many podcasts you've listened to, but what is your general impression of Zaza Ali?
My general impression of Zaza Ali is that Zaza Ali is one of these women. She's one of these women that just want to be heard.
Okay.
I don't think she has any real plans for anything. I think Zaza Ali is pretty much someone who's trying to create a platform for herself. She's trying to create a platform for herself that is enriching. She's hustling. I won't go through a convoluted explanation.
Okay.
I think Zaza Ali is interested in Zaza Ali. And there's nothing wrong with Zaza Ali being interested in Zaza Ali. But just come out and say you're all about Zaza Ali.
Okay.
Don't mask yourself in people's don't politicize your personal ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's hustling. I think if it had been someone like Ice Cube, if she could have found a way to relate to somebody like Ice Cube,
right,
she would have done that.
Right.
The pro-black thing was just a vehicle. It was just a means for her to get her hustle on. Had it been anything else, had it been patriarchy, she would have done the same thing. Had it been antisocial, destructive, gangster ideology, it would have been the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, when you're hustling, you don't care what vehicle you use, just as long as it brings in the correct result. So I don't care what it was. In this instance, it just happened to be, consciousness or pro-black ideology. I just think she's hustling. I just think it's a vehicle she's using to hustle. That's all.
Okay.
And she, in the end, she's about Zaza Ali. And she can get over on it, just like these skillets do with respect to child support. They know, or domestic violence. They know that white society is going to always protect them. And they know that the black man is the weaker, or black men are the weaker society, socially and politically. And as far as society is concerned, black men are the most vulnerable and unprotected people in society. And so she is bottom feeding. That's all she's doing.
Okay.
She is the pro-black equivalent of a buy here, pay here, or payday loan institution.
Yeah, and also, you can tell, especially just by the way she looked, because, she is easy on the eyes, and she one of them bitches, man, where, of course, she's got by on her looks, man. She's basically been one of them chicks who she mesmerized niggas, with her looks and shit, and she gets over a lot, you know what I mean? And, that's kind of like how I seen her, from the Grip. I was just like, man, this is one of them, how we always talk about the alphabet strategy and shit, and how these bitches, they just really think that they are the cat's meow, and everybody need to bow down, and give them what they want. You know what I'm saying? On some spoiled brat shit. And, that's, kind of like the vein I seen her in, man. It was just kind of hard to take her seriously, because just like you said, I always just seen her just as, a race hustler, man, pimping that whole genre to get some ends in her pocket, man, especially after I heard about her prior, fraud charges and shit, man. I'm like, yeah, man, I know what the fuck this is, man. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly what the fuck this is. So I never really did dig the chick, man.
Yeah, she is a pro-black version of Superhead.
Yeah, I bet. I'm firm believer in that shit. She is definitely just like that, man.
She is a pro-black version of Superhead. She is the shea butter wearing, red, black, and green beans sporting, Elijah Muhammad book reading Superhead.
Right.
That's what to me, right. That's what she is.
Shit.
That's all. And she knows she fully is aware of what she's doing. There's you can't impute any type of, innocent, naivety here. That woman know what she's doing. That's just me. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
That woman know what she's doing. And she knows the consequences. She knows everything, and pretty soon you'll see her probably on the internet spitting venom on Griff.
Right.
You see, I wouldn't put that past her. I wouldn't put that past her to be on the web spitting venom on Griff.
Yeah, it's all gonna come out sooner or later and shit. Griff he real tight-lipped about the specifics and shit, man. But pretty soon,
that's like the same kind of chicks we deal with.
Yeah. You ain't lying, shit. But he's gonna have to come out, pretty soon because you know how women are, man. Pretty soon the dam is gonna break, and it's gonna be because of her. She gonna come out her mouth with some slick shit, and Griff is gonna be forced to basically defend himself. You know what I mean? So it'll all come out pretty soon, man. She won't be able to resist running her mouth about some shit, man. I'm counting on that. The next couple months, it's all gonna be all out in the open, bro. Shit. But you got anything else to add on that before we go to the next topic?
No, except, it's no surprise. And I hope that is an example of some of the things that we discuss when we talk about black women. So I'm not surprised.